G, authority. The G center is the gold diamond located in the middle of the body graph. If you have G authority, or self-projected authority, as it is also referred to in human design, it means that the self is expressing itself through the throat. The G is the center of the self. It's the center of love and direction and behavior. And if you have a defined G center, it's not like you're thinking about how these things operate. You just are that. The way that the G center interacts with the throat is can be heard through the voice of the person. When we get into some of these more obscure authorities, these less common ones, please remember it means that you don't have any of the big three. You don't have the emotions, the sacral, or the spleen. And again, this is the G to the throat, and it is self or G projected, self-projected authority. Through our experimentation, what we've begun to learn is that it's really a frequency-based authority. That it's about the person learning to hear their own truth in their own words. You know, some people are starting to feel a sensation of a pull or so in the chest, that they can kind of feel their geometry change, but they are not going against the practice, which is how we teach this authority here, of talking with someone, especially about big decisions, and hearing their own truth in their voice. See, all of the open centers will have a tinniness, a fake soundingness to them. Now, I'm someone that's highly attuned to frequency. It's not only in my design, but it's because I've been so focused on this for so long. Many people with this type of authority will call me to just talk things through so that they can hear their own truth. Now, first of all, again, it's going to be a projector. This is the only type of being that can have this authority. So there needs to be an invitation. There needs to be a recognition of the self and what's really there in the chart. That means that they're not trying to influence you with their emotions. They're not trying to pressure you with their energy. They're not trying to mentally get you to do something or figure something out. They're actually inviting you for your behavior, your unique leadership that you can bring into the world, your unique reflection, or what you have to bring. Again, I have heard a lot of things thrown around in human design about this authority. And a lot of people thought it was a very complicated authority at first because, well, I guess it really wasn't very well understood. And I believe that it's still not very well understood. Through our experimentation, though, that we've seen that what we can really pick up on is the frequency of the G. When the G speaks, it speaks with its own authority. It's the authority of the self speaking. And that can be heard clearly in the voice of the person. Now, at first, you may want to be in touch with someone like myself that has experimented with a lot of this so that you can talk through your decision-making process. But eventually, it will be reliance upon your own self so that you can hear your own words and your own truth coming out of yourself. Now, again, I've heard a lot of things thrown around like, only do what you love and that's a very confusing thing, because again, that's the center of love and direction. I could see where somebody might say that, but when you say only do what you love, who's the I that's doing what it loves? That sounds to me like the mind. So I just want people to be very careful with, some of the things that are being thrown around out there about G authority. I know that it can be accessed through the frequency of the voice. There is no doubt in our experimentation that works for the being. And that over time that they start to develop, almost they can feel the trajectory change because it's literally something that's pulling them along in their trajectory. If you have G authority, look, it's going to take you time. It means you're a projector. It means that the study of your aura and who sees you and what you can see is way more important than trying to understand this authority. This authority will emerge. It will be the self that emerges out of the G, that speaks clearly and commands attention when it speaks. And if not, it's just going to be blah, blah, out of the head centers or out of the emotions, and it's going to have a really fake sound to it. You, as the self-projected projector, will be the one that's here to really recognize the truth for yourself. And until then, having another good projector or two in your life to talk to could be very beneficial, and I do recommend it. I hope that helps, because it is a less understood authority in human design.